Your Story Matters. We are excited that you're here today. I'm excited because I have Justin Terrio with us. Justin is a new staff member here for First Priority Greater Nashville. We're excited to have you with us. So thanks for joining us today.
Thanks for having me, Brad.
Tell us a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you're into.
Yeah, so like you said, I'm Justin. I have a wife of almost 8 years. Her name's Deanna. And then I have 3 children under the age of 5. So I'm crazy. Gemma, my oldest, just turned 5. Jasper is 4. That gap was not planned at all. And then Hayden, my youngest, is 1.5 years. So nice. 1 girl, 2 boys. Life's crazy.
Yeah. It's
just like we're constantly going. Go home from work and it's just more chaos.
I'd ask if you have any hobbies, but that sounds pretty intense.
It's I really love skateboarding.
Okay.
I'm actually at a skate park at least 2 or 3 times a week.
Okay.
I think it's the whole aspect of once you're in student ministry, you always kind of do student ministry. So, yeah. Man, I'm there and getting to love on kids and hang out, and they get to laugh at me. So it's a good time.
Nice. Nice. Well, let's dig into your story because we believe that your story matters. So let's start with the foundation of it. Talk about your walk of faith and your journey and what God's done in your life, and
yeah,
so get the deep stuff out of the way first.
Yeah, I used to think my story didn't matter, especially when I was in middle school and high school, because I was raised in a Christian family, great foundation. I really never got into anything bad. You know, I just went through life. I was at church Sunday morning, Sunday night, and Wednesday night, and just kind of went through the motions.
Sure.
I gave my life to Christ when I was 7 years old. I remember it. I was sitting on our living room chair with my mom. She got done reading a book, and I was like, hey, I want to know Jesus, you know,
Sure.
And I could understand at that age. From that point on, I just went through and did the normal Christian thing. I was also homeschooled. I know y'all are thinking like, man, this guy looks way cooler than your average homeschooler. Like, it's true. But like having that foundation and being homeschooled as well, like honestly, there wasn't much influence in my life outside of a Christian home.
Yeah.
So it was pretty awesome, but in the moment I didn't like it.
Sure.
You know, I played basketball for a Christian's team. Still, that wasn't a ton of exposure as well. Ended up going to UT Chattanooga, which is a state university, and kind of flipped my world upside down.
Yeah, right.
You know, going from, it wasn't shelter, but there just wasn't opportunity for anything to happen.
Sure.
You know, like for me to fall into sin or whatever. Like, it was just, my whole life was outside of that.
Yep.
So go to college and go through the motions and do everything that a normal college freshman would do.
Sure.
Wasn't too great academically and just got distracted.
Yeah.
You know, it wasn't my best, fell into some sin, and I really heard the Lord calling me back home to Nashville. This was after 2 years at UT Chat.
Okay.
And I started hanging out with these 2 guys, Jared Shingleton and Sean Murray.
Okay.
And I knew them from when I was younger, and they had Christian homes just like I did. And we kind of lost touch. And they had something different. They had something different than I had. And I didn't know what it was. So I asked them. I was like, okay, listen, like, we had the same upbringing. You know,
Yeah.
We grew up in church. Like, what's different from the way you're living your life? And it's contagious to the way I'm living my life, and it seems dead.
Yep.
And they had one answer for me, and they said, I am in love with Jesus. And I had to take a step back. You know, like, I gave my life to Christ when I was little. I did all the church things, and it was an incredible foundation. I still can pull things from when I was in elementary, middle school, high school that I learned in church.
Yeah.
You know, it still comes up.
Yeah.
But I don't think I fell in love with Jesus until I was about 21. I knew of him.
Yep.
I was a Christian. I, was serving him in some capacity.
Sure.
But there's a shift when you fall in love with Jesus and you actually make him Lord of your life. And that moment for me was when I was 21. I kind of went downhill from there. I've been in student ministry since, I was 20, like I got involved. So, it's just crazy. That's a little bit on that one.
Okay. Well, tell us about life from 2021, graduating college and going into the workforce, what have you done up till First Priority? Because you've been in First Priority now just for a few short years. Yeah. So talk us through that and then lead us into how you got into First Priority.
Yeah. So when I was about 2021 and that shift happened in my life, I also had a veterinarian call me up and say, hey, I'll pay for you to get certified and all of these things, and I want you to come work for me.
Okay.
Cool. Awesome. I get to work with animals. It was really cool. So I actually got certified in anesthesia and surgery, radiology, all the fun stuff for small pets, mainly dogs and cats.
Yeah.
It is, And I ended up working my way up through the veterinary community and went from just a kind of intern pet nurse all the way up to 2017, I actually ran my own animal hospital.
Really?
Had veterinarians working for me. I was part of a huge branch, and the Lord just really blessed all of that. It was really cool. I learned a lot of leadership skills, but I really don't miss, getting bit and scratched and pooped on all the time. I mean, they would send me to the ER like I got bit that bad.
I thought you said you had a 1-year-old.
I do, I do. Yep. He bites too.
Exactly. That's where I was going.
So, but big German Shepherd bite to 1-year-old bite,
That's
really
true.
just doesn't compare.
Little different. Yes.
So I did that, and in that moment of working, I was relying on myself.
Sure.
Still pursuing God, but in my day-to-day work, I was relying on me, even though God had completely blessed me and I'd had His favor in that work field.
Yep.
So Steve Cherico, we'll get into this. Yeah. He was actually my youth pastor growing up.
Okay.
Super close with him and Jesse and their kids, and we kind of drifted apart through my high school and college years.
Sure.
Even my young adult life. So now at this point, married, have kids, running my own animal hospital, and he posted something about getting involved on campuses, and I reached out to him and I was like, dude, this is awesome. How can I get involved? How can I meet students where they're at?
Yeah.
And his response was, this is timely, let me take you to lunch.
Sure.
So we actually came out to Hermitage where my hospital was and got lunch and was like, dude, listen, man, I think this is the Lord. I don't think that this is coincidence.
Sure.
And we need a guy in Rutherford County.
Oh, wow.
So I took that home to my wife, and he kind of just threw it on the table right then at that lunch. And I'd worked 10 years in the veterinary community to be at the point where I was.
Yep.
Kind of the top.
Yeah.
And comfortable for my family. Finally, weren't living paycheck to paycheck. And Steve just throws this out. So me and my wife spent a lot of time praying.
Yep.
It's like, listen, my passion is ministry. My passion is students. A student comes to know Christ, and that's just the most miraculous, amazing thing that can even happen. So she said, I think you should do it. And I would have to step down. I would have to pretty much go to the wayside 10 years of hard work.
Yeah.
And follow the Lord. And I was struggling. I've got 3 little kids.
Right.
I would have to fundraise my salary. This is crazy.
Yeah.
This is absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
And so I ended up praying and just really felt like the Lord wanted me to do it. But I still wasn't sure.
Sure.
There had to be a tipping point.
Sure.
And that tipping point was my wife. And she looked at me and we were having this conversation, and I said, I'm not sure we can afford it. I don't know how it's going to work. I just really don't. It was terrifying.
Yep.
And she said, I don't see how we can afford not to. She
Why
said,
is it good that way?
Man. She said, I'd rather you be walking in what the Lord has for you than not walking in what the Lord has for you. And if you're doing, He'll provide. And it was that out of body experience where my wife was speaking to me.
Yeah.
And all my worry about providing for my family and protecting my family, I had to give that over to the Lord.
Yeah. In
that moment. And started out as a Rutherford County coordinator.
Yep.
Stepped down from running my own animal hospital, and man, now here we are 2021, and I'm the ministry director for First Priority Greater Nashville.
There you go.
Full-time ministry.
That's awesome.
Yeah, long way.
Well, welcome. We're glad that you're here.
Thanks.
Love to have you part of the family. So, talk to us a little bit. there's a lot of misconceptions about God out there and God's story and who he is and what he does for people in this world. What's a common misconception that you like to talk about and speak truth into about God and who he is?
I think since so much of my time is spent around students who don't know Christ, for instance, like at the skate park, when I'm there, like I'm not just having fun, like I'm trying to invest in these kids' lives, and they find out I do ministry and was a part-time youth pastor, and one of their first questions is like, what, for like God, that guy up in the sky, you know, like I don't even know. So it's crazy for me to think that even here in America, and we're in Tennessee, so we're like in the Bible Belt, if you will, kids don't know who God is, or they just think he's somewhere up there, or I don't know. So me being able to break the barrier of like, no, like God is like the creator of the universe. Like he loves you, he created you, he wants a relationship with you, not only to be your God, but to be your Lord, to be your Father, to be your friend in those times. Instead of, oh man, I have to be perfect for this God, or I have to have everything right before I can even go to church, or before I can pray, I have to look perfect. And man, I love telling students that he wants you to come to him just as you are. He wants your mess. He wants your junk. You know, all your struggles that you have, he wants you to bring that to him and take that from you. Christianity is one of the only religions where you can pursue the God in your mess. We don't have to strive to be perfect for God to have that relationship with us. And that's one of the most beautiful things. So, man, I love breaking that barrier. It's awesome. It's a blast.
That's awesome. I love it. I love it. Well, thank you for giving us a little bit of your story today and a little bit of insight about God and perspective on that. And thank you for being part of the First Party family. We're glad that you're here.
Man, that's awesome. Thanks for having me. And man, getting to do this, it's one of the greatest joys, you know?
That's right. That's right. So. Cool. Thank you.